Here is the Kawasaki Z900 front steel braided brake lines. I received these from sportsbiketracker.com. They cost me about, I want to say it was like $119. And so you got the steel braided brake lines, plus they included free .4 brake fluid and some brake clean, which brake clean's always great to have in the shop. And I did go with the carbon looking, so that way it keeps with my theme, the part number on that. All right, so if we open them up, so we have brake line. It goes to the master cylinder, to the left front caliper. So first, that's to the master cylinder. This is the second. It goes to the caliper. So it comes with the grommet already on it. These are actually pretty thin compared to the rubber lines that are on there. Feel sturdy, feel good. All right, and then we have our second line. This is like the piggyback line. That's gonna go from, this goes from the left side to the right side caliper. And it has your grommets already for your fender. And then it also comes with some stickers, a zip tie, some instructions, and your parts, which I wanted black banjo bolts to, again, keep with the theme. So here we have the black bolts with new crush washers. And then this piece here, this is a clamp that you clamp down the end and you're able to rotate the eyelet so that way you can get it exactly the way you want it. Brake fluid they sent me is an EBC brake fluid, which I'm a big fan of EBC, .4. So this is unopened. So we're gonna go ahead and use that today also. And then also free was the fast dry brake clean, and which we're just gonna clean up the calipers and make everything look nice and fancy. All right, let's have some fun and do some installing. So let's go to the bike. So what we want to do, first of all, is we want to remove all the brake fluid in the entire system. Now, brake fluid is corrosive, so it can cause some issues and some damage with stuff. So just be a little careful with how you're working with it. We have two Phillips heads on top of our reservoir. All right, both screws are the same size, so no issues mixing those up. Nice and easy. All right, so now there's a few ways you can do this. You can use a brake fluid vacuum. Another way is to hook this tube to your master cylinder bleeder valve and go ahead and pump the brakes until you get most of the fluid out. Or you can stick a paper towel in there and soak it up. On the vacuum, I have this nipple that can go on. I'm gonna pull this cap off the bleeder screw, and this just squeeze right on it. So now what you can do is with the bleeder, suck out the fluid. It's gonna suck out the fluid from the master cylinder and through the other caliper and through the brake lines. So this is the most easy, convenient way. I picked this up on Amazon. I'll put a link for it in the description. If you do some work on cars or brakes, this is great to have. If not, you can do it the other ways I explained. It's a little more messier, so you want to be a little careful, but we're going to crack it. Go ahead and suck the fluid out. As you see here in the master cylinder, so here in the master cylinder, it's completely drained out all the fluid. And we'll look at the line, and it looks like I'm just getting air. So all of it's already out that fast. So we're gonna go ahead and close up this valve. You don't have to He-Man it, it's just a snug fit. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and do the other side and just make sure we got all the brake fluid out of the system. Same thing over here. Pull the little cap off. Touch the little bleeder. Crack it open. It looks like there was no fluid, so I think I got it all out. All right, here at the master cylinder, we're gonna go ahead and take a rag and just wipe the inside out. Let's get all this extra fluid out. I mean, it's got about, it's not bad. You know, maybe 2,000, 1,500 miles on it, which fluid lasts a lot longer than that. So this banjo bolt here is gonna be a 12 millimeter. All right. Keep an eye out for any fluid that might start coming out, just in case. All right, we're just gonna pay attention to the way this is routed. So it's in front. Let me pull it down here. It's in front of both your cable lines. Go ahead and pull it down. Get it out, okay. And it's in this little clip. So all you do is just pull up on one end, it pops right open. We'll pull that clip out. Now it is behind this wiring right here. The grommet is in a bracket, so it should just pull right out. There's a hook, so we're just gonna pull the brake line back through that. All right, so we pulled it out. So you got another grommet right here. So that's just gonna pull right out of that too. Okay, so now we can go ahead and move this banjo bolt. Again, it's a 12 millimeter. Okay, so that's the main brake line. So here it's in another grommet holder, like that. Same with the other side. Another grommet holder. Just push it out, comes right out. There's our piggyback line. Another 12 millimeter. Now again, we're not reusing these banjo bolts or these crush washers. Anytime you take a brake line off, you always want to replace the crush washer. So here is the stock line. So this is the piggyback line, right? So on the new ones, you're gonna have to adjust the way the curve is on these eyelets here. So I've already adjusted them and twisted them in, but I'll show you how to do it on the other line. Cable that's gonna go to the master cylinder, you can clearly see that this eyelet is two turned. So we're gonna need to turn that to the right or clockwise. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put it between on this metal where it's crimped, just like that, and you're gonna put it in a vise. Now on the bike, you can do this on the bike with some channel locks. Alright, tighten it. And I said clockwise about a turn. Quarter of a turn. Alright, let's check that. So here, you can see I went just a hair too much. So we need to back it out just a hair. Make sure we're sitting okay. Set it down. We're gonna go counterclockwise, just a hair. Alright, so there we go. So that looks nice and straight. Looks pretty even. It's not perfect, it's okay. And so one thing we are doing is we're missing this grommet. So there's a grommet there, which is fine. This grommet, we have no grommet. So we need to transfer this grommet. In your kit, you get 3 banjo bolts. Okay? So one is for the right side caliper, one is for the master cylinder, and this one is for the left side caliper with some new crush washers. So we're going to go ahead and put this right side on. We're just going to need one of these. When you get these, they are marked. You got left caliper, right caliper. So before you take those off, make sure you know where they're going. Take the washer off, washer through, and do another washer on the other side. Go ahead and fit finger tight. Alright, so we're going to use a little hand sanitizer so this grommet can slide right in. There we go. Alright, so same with the master cylinder. You got one that says first, master cylinder for MC. Same scenario. I'm going to run it up through behind these wires, behind these two wires, front of the shift cables, up to the master cylinder. Take off one washer, crush washer, banjo bolt, crush washer. So you should always have a crush washer on either side of the eyelet. Now we're going to screw, hand tight, screw it in. Took the existing brake line and cut off one of the grommets. You have to cut it off, and maybe the pressure hopefully will hold it together. If not, I'll zip tie it. Because I need a grommet. I don't want that cable rubbing against metal. So here's the piggyback line. So we go ahead and put that in here with the little lube help. Alright, there we go. That bad boy goes right there. So we got our double banjo bolt. What we're going to do is go ahead and put this on. So first we need one crush washer through the piggyback banjo, another crush washer, and we have our main brake line coming from the master cylinder. And then we have another crush washer. So we put that on and let's finger tighten it. Alright, so now we still have some room, so we can still put our line in like that. This is okay turned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use since this grommet is exposed so people can see it, I want it to look nice. So I'm going to use this grommet that came with the kit. And we're going to wrap it with a zip tie just to keep the line from popping out. It would have been really nice if they included this grommet. I'm not sure why they didn't. Maybe it was a mistake, but I'll be okay with this. I'm gonna put one more zip tie on it just to make sure it doesn't pop out. All right, so it ain't going nowhere. It ain't. A little bit of vibration, it'll be all right. So the new banjo bolts are now a 14 millimeter. Same thing down here. All right, snug that one up. So let's add some brake fluid. Oh, this EBC brake fluid isn't clear. It's an apple juice. We're gonna go ahead and top it up all the way to the top. Brake bleeder. Connect it to the right side bleeder. All right, you definitely don't want to get in too low. I'll fill it back up. So you can see the bubbles. It's actually getting harder now. And there's no rush to this. You see all those little tiny bubbles? Well, there's no rush. This is very important to make sure we get all the air out of the system. So now we're going to check it for leaks. Make sure we don't have any leaks. Nice, it feels pretty dry to me. So now I'm just going to do a manual check. What you're going to do is pump the brake until it gets nice and tight. And so you can use your bleeder, or you can use a clear tube that you can get at Home Depot for like $1 and put it inside a bottle. So what we're going to do is just going to crack it nice and slow. It's nice and slow. The lever's going to start slowly closing. And before it gets all the way to the bar, I'll close it. Now I see my fluid coming out of here. I don't see any air. We're going to pump it some more. Hold it. Crack it open real slow. Stop before the lever hits the bar. Close it. Pump it some more. Just keep an eye on the fluid that's coming out. It looks pretty clear to me. No bubbles. Alright, so we're going to go do the other side. Same thing on this side. Going to hook our bleeder on. Get our 10 millimeter. Put it on the bolt. Or on the bleeder itself. Pump it. Hold it. Crack it open real slow. Stop. Close it before the bar gets to the lever gets to the bar. Again. Close it. Ah, so yeah, there we go. Fluid looks like there's no bubbles in it. Looks good. Then we're gonna go ahead and top off our fluid. And honestly, the worst time to do any brake stuff is when it's raining out, because there's a lot of moisture in the air. And we're just gonna top it up above the sight glass. Go ahead and stick this on there. Yeah, see, I put a little too much in, so we're leaking. We'll get that. We'll get some brake cleaner, clean that up, because I don't want it eroding this paint on this master cylinder. Because sometimes if you see master cylinders, they look all rusty and terrible. That's because the brake fluid erodes paint. You don't want to over tighten these, they just need to be snug. I feel like I say that a lot. Don't over tighten it. You know why? Because in my younger years when I'd work on things and working on cars, I over tightened a lot of things, and I've broken bolts, I've cross threaded things, through my lifetime I've done a lot of damage to bolts, screws, and holes. So I'm overly cautious about it. Little brake clean on a rag and wipe it down. Never feels nice and solid. So I went ahead and put the headlight back on. I think I have about 4 different videos of taking on and taking off the headlights. So most likely you guys don't want to see me putting 6 bolts back in. So the headlight's in. I haven't rode it yet. It's been raining outside. The lever does feel a little more firmer. There's less, when I go to pull it in, it feels like it's less spongy. Riding it is going to tell us how it does. So right now this is just the install of steel braided brake lines on the front of a Z900 2017 model, and I will be doing a review between the stock brake lines and the aftermarket brake lines to see if it's worth it. Does it make any difference? Is there any change? Is it better? We don't know. I've always put them on my new bikes. I've just done it because that's the way it's always been done. It's supposed to give you better performance, but do I push this bike hard enough for that? I don't know. So I'll come back in a few weeks with a review letting you know if you should or you shouldn't, or what it does. It looks damn sexy, but is it practical? Well, if you like the video, smash that like button and subscribe, bringing you guys some more content. So see you in the next video.